For us as an organization, there's a lot yet to learn about communities. There's a lot of knowledge taught in the communities. And when you create that right space, that knowledge comes alive. And use that as the foundation for all form of development work that you want to do. In this program, we created a right space and the community came alive. They brought much more than we expected. And for us, we are going to package all the learnings that we have seen within this whole program as the building blocks of our next interventions that we're going to be working on within that community. The idea was to exhibit seed and food and some aspects of our cultural heritage expressions. And what we saw was mind-boggling, especially in terms of the competitiveness among women groups to bring out the diversity of the seed that was in display was really shocking. The diversity of the foods and traditional recipes that were prepared and displayed was mind-boggling. Not to talk about the cross-learning that happened between the people of Tachara and those that came from Forikrom. There was traditional medicine that came. Not only did they sell and highlighted the role of traditional medicine in our healthcare system, but they provided some herbs and local medicine to the people of Tachara, especially again when we saw women came dressed in the ways that they used to dress when they were kids. So the euphoria of reliving their past, it was so satisfying to see that come alive, and also to see the youth who were around doing a lot of learning and exchanges in terms of understanding the seed diversity that was there, how it is preserved and how it is used.
What I'm taking home is I'll go and train my house people that they should go back to their olden days, their food, their produce. Even the generation which are coming, they don't know anything about our local dyes. So I'm going to tell them or teach them that we should go back to our olden days.
But of course, we just are not necessarily talking about and interested in going back just to the past for the sake of going back to the past, but we're interested in creating an interface of knowledge systems, because contemporary lifestyle is important. Contemporary needs of the current generation are really important factors to take care of. And so we're looking at what are the connections, what are the ways of creating an interface of knowledge systems and ideas that are being generated from such events to create a more acceptable development paradigm for communities and societies around the world.
For over the decade, we see that these seeds are diminishing from the system, and that is the key reason why we pay a visit to this community. Our idea is to learn from the diverse way of doing things and also share seeds among ourselves. Because in various ecological zones, there are particular kind of seeds that is being grown, which is different from here. But we also want to test this in our site by learning and sharing that will bring about fighting hunger and also reducing poverty level.
In a similar vein, we would want to encourage sister organizations, for example, that are interested in the area of climate change, food security, agriculture, and nutrition in particular, that we need to flip the coin around. And rather than introduce the exogenous development principles to our communities, and when I say exogenous, I'm talking about bringing our external knowledge systems and dumping that on communities. That let's flip at the coin around a little bit and create the right space within our communities and allow the indigenous knowledge of the communities to come alive. Let's use that as the foundational blocks on which we are able to build our development interventions on top of that.
Going forward, I will be very grateful if some policymakers, the government, should involve CCOD in most of the things that they are doing, because the organization is into more of this research with food, with medicine, and that is also helping our community and building more resilient people around the globe.
The food that they have is their own resource. They understand it and they know it much better than we do. And so for us to support any important nutrition education program, it has to start with how the community themselves understand nutrition and how they have dealt with issues of nutrition in the past and how they are continuing to do with that. So create those right spaces. Join us to create those spaces and let the community knowledge come alive. And then we can bring in our external knowledge system. And then we'll be building more than sustainable communities. And we'll be building a better future for ourselves and the unborn.